Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your English class and I am your subject teacher Fawzia Naz. Today we have to start with Glory and Hope by Nelson Mandela. This is included in Unit 2, that is Hope and Aspiration. In Unit 2 we had two readings, two speeches. One was I Have a Dream, that was by Martin Luther King, and the second one was Glory and Hope by Nelson Mandela. In both the speeches we have a lot of similarities. These are two extraordinary speeches said by two great men at desperate times of need, at days with racial injustice where color was power. These two men stood up against these pernicious acts to serve what was right. We can see in Martin Luther King's speech that his audience were the black people, and he himself was a Negro. So what he said in his speech while standing at the Lincoln Memorial, that was about the racial injustice, that was about the color, and definitely he talked about the right of the black people. So Dr. Martin Luther King had delivered his speech at Lincoln Memorial in 1953 during the civil rights movement in USA. And Glory and Hope was delivered by Nelson Mandela in 1994. You can see the difference in the time frame, that Martin Luther King in 1953, whereas Nelson Mandela in 1994. And when he won that anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, as it ended over there, with both their speeches having the same objective, with similar ideas at the same points, different aspects in which they supported their ideologies of peace, freedom, justice and equality. As both freedom fighters, they had some idea towards the racial injustice. There are many similarities in both the speeches. So that is why, in spite of the time frame difference, these two speeches are put together under the same unit, that they have the same in common idea, that was of justice for the black people and racial indiscrimination, what the black people have been facing in the Western countries. You can see the picture of Nelson Mandela over here. He was a great person, he was a great leader, and when we read the ideologies of the great people, actually we try to understand that how these freedom fighters, they had worked, how they had changed themselves, and how they had influenced the life of the others. Actually, Nelson Mandela, he had made such inspiring speeches, he had used such inspiring similes and metaphors that really affect the heart of the readers and the listeners as well. There is film about Nelson Mandela, that was A Long Walk to Freedom. This film is very important. I suggest you people to watch this film. There is also a book with the same title, and on which this film was made, and the title of the book is the same, that is Long Walk to Freedom. Actually, Nelson Mandela had spent 27 years of his life into prison in order to work against the apartheid system in the country. So he had to spend a very hard life in jail, because he was put in a jail where in just 6 months he could write one letter, and he could receive one letter from his family, and this letter is also censored very strictly. उन लाइन्स को कट कर दिया जाता था, where there was some hint of some political hints were there. These were used to cut in such a way that no one can get any idea. And when he meets with his wife in a person would stay with them in order to listen what they say. So as he was such a strong person for the black people, that they were frightened of him, and he spent very tough life in prison, as he was mistreated by the staff as well. And he used to read a lot of books when he was kept in prison. So with the help of his reading, he had the strong speaking power. He had the strong quotations and words with him, which he used in order to win the heart of the people. Okay, over here what we need to understand is what the apartheid system is. Actually, he worked against that apartheid system. So one must know that what that apartheid system was. That was apartness or separateness. What was apartness and separateness? Actually, the black people, they had been separated from the white people, right? Definitely this was segregation, this was discrimination that was enforced by the White National Party from 1948 until Mandela's election. When this Mandela's election was held, that was in 1994. For such a long time period, the black people, they had been discriminated, they had been segregated from the white one. This racial segregation has characterized South Africa since white settlers arrived in 1652. So over here, as I told you, that segregation, it began in 1948 after the National Party came to power, and this party instituted policies of white supremacy which empowered white South Africans, descendants from Dutch and British settlers, while further these black people, these black South Africans, they were separated from each other, and enabled the government to claim that there was no black majority and reduce the possibility that blacks would unify into one national organization, and every black South African was designated as a citizen as one of the Bantustans. A system, what was that Bantustan? It was a system that supposedly gave them full political rights, but effectively removed them from the nation's political body. So actually, what was done with the black people? They were sent to that place, to the Bantustan, where the black were treated as the poor people, and they had to live in poverty, right? From 1961 to 1994, more than 3.5 million people were forcibly removed from their homes and deposited in Bantustans, where they were plunged into poverty and hopelessness. So, in one of the most devastating aspects of apartheid, the government forcibly removed the black South Africans from rural areas designated as white to the homelands, and sold their land at low prices to the white farmers. So actually, that was the apartheid system. When the black people, they had been separated from the white people, these white people were the descendants of the British settlers, and they were given more rights, though they were few in number, and these black people were sent to Bantustan, where they had to live in poverty, they have to live in hopelessness. Okay, let's talk about Nelson Mandela over here. He worked for South African anti-apartheid revolutionary system. He was a politician. He was philanthropist who loves his country a lot. He served as the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999, just for one term. He was the country's first black head of state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by tackling institutionalized racism and fostering racial reconciliation. Ideologically an African nationalist and socialist, he served as president of African National Congress Party from 1991 to 1997. So, as far as this lesson is concerned, what is the content of his speech? Actually, in this speech, he thanked everybody for their presence. Many delegates, many ambassadors from the whole world, they had been present over there. He thanked them for their presence. He was thanking the international guests for common victory for justice, and he also talked about that there shouldn't be any discrimination anymore in the country. And he talked about the long-lasting peace, importance of unity, and he then prayed for South Africa. And what is the message of his speech actually? Mandela, he wanted both the audience, black and white, to recognize the importance of the turning point that his address represented in the country's history. He wanted the international community to see the new South Africa as a moral state which could teach others how to reconcile and overcome conflicts of the past. He was of the view that past is not to regret, past is to learn something from which we can actually learn the things with which we can advance in the world ahead. He hoped that South Africans would accept his message of the need to move away from the past and look to the future as a newly united people who should work together to overcome the legacies of the past. I hope that you people are getting the message of the speech. Actually, what he wanted to say, he wanted to make his audience realize that there is nothing to regret about the past. He spent 27 years of his life into prison, but in that prison he learned something, and he wanted to teach to the people that do not regret on the past, just learn, and one must shape one's future with the help of one's past. Okay, over here I had actually just written one paragraph from the speech, that is the beginning paragraph, and I am going to read this paragraph for you people. Your Majesties, Your Highness, distinguished guests, comrades and friends, today all of us do, by our presence here and by our celebration in other parts of our country and the world, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experiences of extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. So you can see the choice of his words. You can see how powerful he was in his speech. He thanked all the people, the distinguished guests, the comrades, friends, and he was telling them that today they had been celebrating, of which the whole humanity will be proud of, right? So he said that this is actually the glory and the hope. This is glory and hope confers to newborn liberty. So over here he thanked not only to the people who had been over here, who had been with them in celebrating that liberty. He also actually make the world realize that this liberty is being celebrated not only in the country but also in the whole world. Thank you very much, girls. Today it would be enough for today. The rest part of the lesson would be completed tomorrow, inshallah.